Hello there, welcome to my YouTube channel. If we are meeting for the first time, my name is Jordan Tabano, and if you are looking for tips, strategies, and principles to help you reach your next level of success in life, in your career or business, make sure you give this channel a subscribe and this video a like. Today, we are speaking about the difference, the profound difference between knowing your next step and knowing your next 10 steps. And it's based off this assumption, this almost this vision that I had this morning of this gust of wind coming through. It's like a storm. And immediately I thought about if you're from Australia, you'll know that there was all of these cyclone threats and whatever going on up north in Brisbane. And I wasn't up there in when it happened, but it was incredible to see how tense some people got, how freaked out some others got of I've got to get this ready, that ready, that ready, that ready, which is fair enough. When you've got a cyclone coming, you do what you can to prepare. But what was obvious about it was, there were some people that were posting, and it was actually, what the news were saying, what they were saying was going to happen, actually has not happened. It's been bad. Don't don't get me wrong. But what we expected was coming actually did not happen in many of the threatened areas. And so I was thinking about that this morning, and I thought, it's such an important structure to be in particularly when you're under pressure. It's man, I've got to know what to do. I've got to know, my next move and what happens after my next move. And it's just how can you know the next 10 moves if you're not at move 2, 3, 4? Things change as you make moves, particularly when you're, in this space in your life where it's I'm creating my life. I'm not just regurgitating shit. And, we've spoken about that on this, on my channel and stuff. But I'd encourage you guys to really ask yourself, is your plan that you have more about having confidence that you're going to do something about the goals that you have? Or is it you can see a way? It's oh, well, now I've got more certainty that it's not even a way. It's that this will happen because I can see a way that I've made up. Because if that's why you're setting it, I want to share at least what I've experienced in my own life whenever I've set extensive plans. Each and every time the plan has not been implemented, and I'm sure you guys can relate. Every time I've planned 10 steps ahead, I've just never followed through. It never goes that way. The goal has happened, but it's always come about in a way that haven't anticipated. But the plans that I've followed through have always been the plans that I've had in the moment to execute my next step. For example, right now, I'm training for a triathlon. I spoke about this on a couple of my videos, but it's the next step that I had when I started back in when I got back from Europe last year was run 15 minutes a day. I didn't even know I was training for a triathlon. So I went, 15 minutes a day. Then I went to 5Ks 3 times a week. Then it was 10Ks 3 times a week. And then it was two long distance runs with all HIIT training and stuff that I've been doing here while I've been in Central Coast. Now I just got 3 runs, 15 to 17Ks a week. So 3 sessions of that. And it's I've stuck to that. I've stuck to it because at each stage I've allowed myself to be open to receiving the next step, and the plan has unfolded as I'm executing the plan, but I've allowed it to be in the unknown. And that's why I've actually followed through. But when I think back to sales, right, it would be so this is how much money I'm going to make for the year, and this is where I'm going to be by March, and that's how much money I would have made, and that's how many calls, and that's how many appointments I would have had, and that's the close rate. Sometimes when I get to March, I am way ahead of where I thought I'd be, or I'm actually less, right? So And you know what? Always the numbers, they happen, but they don't necessarily predict the results. And then something would happen, but it would always come from like April all the way through to like October, November. It's like I'm a slow starter to the year, and I would just catch fire then. And from April, sometimes even right through to Christmas, it was just a gold mine. And most of my target that I had for the year would just happen. And quite frankly, a lot of the work that I thought I needed to do to get to that target, this is back when I was in sales, like the calls and stuff, the meetings, that would drop dramatically. I wouldn't even have to do that much. Referrals would come in and all kinds of magical shit would happen. So it's like after a while, I just got to go week by week, week by week. Like what action am I taking this week to hit my target? Now back then I used to put pressure on, all right, this is how many sales I need to make a week. So I was like, I'd bring it right down to the minutes. Like I've got to make 6 sales this week or 7. And it was like that rather than I'm going for this target for the whole year. What's my next step for this week to create that whole target for this year? Very different structure, the latter than the earlier. So, what goal do you have where it's like you've got plans and plans and plans and more plans, and it's like, have you asked yourself if you've done anything about it? Like, honestly, that's what I would always like. That's what I eventually did. It was like, man, I am not implementing any of this shit that I am planning, right? What I actually implement, what I take action on, is what I get in the moment. And so, yeah, this is where we're going with this. So I get things, and this episode is very much implementing what I'm talking about because I thought I was going to be talking about something else today, but it's become obvious this is the thing. Um, so yes, so the we want to switch from 10 steps ahead to being vision orientated. So if we take the power away from, man, I've got to know my next 10 steps or my yearly plan, why don't we fuck off the steps, right? And we just go, what is that end result? Get very clear on it, feel it, see it every single day. And then we let go of the how and we just know next step, next step, next step, because that's energizing. Now, if you're like, yeah, but Jordan, it's scary. Yeah, but how do I know if I'm going to get there? You're in the fucking game, my friend. You are in the game. You're in the game now. If you are scared that, hey, this might not happen, hey, I don't know, like what I'm doing next, there's something on the line, you know? But when it's like, man, oh, this is going to happen, I'm confident. Every time I felt like that, I was not in the game. I was kidding myself. It's like, yeah, I'm confident now. I can let it go. I can let it go. You ever done that? Oh man, the amount of like, I used to have this pattern with my soccer coaching business. I would plan my marketing. I'd plan it. I'd plan it. And, oh, finally, I can have a rest. I can have a rest now. And it's crazy, right? Because nothing got done. And so eventually, like, after a couple of months, we used to sell to primary schools of no clients. It was just like, shit, I've got to, I've got to change something here. And when I just started going, all right, well, each day, this amount of calls to this many schools, and I focused on and back then I did it without actually realizing. I was just like in the love of teaching soccer, like focusing on actually landing a gig, but not even going to myself, this is how many schools I want to have. It was just like I was really passionate about soccer coaching. So I was just in that passion. And then all of a sudden, like a windfall, 5 schools came on board out of nowhere within the space of like 2 to 3 weeks. It was crazy, right? And so I think back to that and I go, oh shit. When I let go of the plan and I just started taking the most obvious action, which was to call the fucking schools, um, and I was scared. Oh man, I did not like calling those receptionists. I hated calling the receptionists. Grump, excuse my French. Well, actually, I'm not going to say what I'm just about to say. See, I spoke about this. Vengeful Jordan comes out and he starts going, I'm going to let this person have it in public. I'm not going to do it. Um, so I didn't like calling the receptionists because they weren't pleasant. They weren't pleasant, let's just say. And it's fair enough. They probably copped like, you know, heaps and heaps of people like me giving their school a cold call and they'd have to deal with it. But anyway, because that was the case, and because I'd land these meetings with principals and I'd get these free coaching sessions to run with like the whole school where I'd take heaps of equipment and stuff and I'd set up for lunchtime and all the kids would come out and we'd run drills and stuff. It was like, oh man, I don't know what's going to happen here. But that fear, that anxiety, those emotions. Now, I'm not encouraging you that you feel that when you take action, but that was a surefire sign that I'm like, man, I am in the game here. I'm in the game. So time to land the video, time to land the message because we're there. We're right there. I can feel it. And I'd love to keep talking, but it's not the time. So when you take away the plans, take away all the steps and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about my vision. You take away all that and you just go, don't worry about the steps. I've got my end result. I can see it. What's my next step now? What am I going to take action on? And then you allow that uncertainty to come and find you like your best friend. Oh man, that's when you know you're in. That's when you know you're in. But if you're going to do what I did, and what many people do when they want to start a business or a book, they get out, they tell all the people, this is the book I'm writing. This is the book I'm writing. I haven't written anything. This is the book I'm writing, and this is my plan. I'm going to rent an Airbnb. I'm going to write in the forest with a fireplace and God knows what else, and mushrooms and psychedelics and all kinds of shit around to help me write. And then when the book's done, I'm going to, plan a big party to release the book. And then maybe after a couple more months, when everybody knows about it, I might release. Don't do that, right? Because what's that doing? That is like resolving your tension, and you're getting nicey nice about being in the process of doing something rather than this is what I want to happen. I want the book to be in the reader's hands. And I'm letting go of how that's going to happen. I just want to know what I'm doing next. I'm writing my book. Okay. That's all I'm worried about. And then when it's time to send it to the publisher, we're sending it to the publisher. When it's time to edit, we edit. Okay. So basically, bottom line message, if you do not have uncertainty and it's because you've got too many plans that you're clinging to, throw the plan out. Throw it out. Rip it up into pieces. Get your one step. Get your uncertainty and go for your life. Things will change big time. All right, that's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you did. Subscribe, like this video, and comment. Let me know. Like, do you agree? Do you agree? Do you think the plans 10 steps ahead and all that kind of jazz is just unnecessary? And if you do, and you've got an experience to share, please share it in the comments. I would love to hear it. All right, guys, that's enough from me. Have a good rest of your week and upcoming weekend, and we will speak next time.